How do you balance your emotional, spiritual, and physical health? Can you do it? Is it possible? Let's talk about it. Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, which is a requested video, I wanted to talk about balancing our emotional, spiritual, and physical health. Now, one of my lovely viewers asked me if I could do a video on this, and I thank her so much. I'm honored that she would think I know how to do it. But honestly, it's not easy, and none of us have perfect balance. It seems like you get one thing in check, and then something else is out of whack. So it's very difficult to work on these three things, especially all at one time. Now, the connection between our physical, emotional, and spiritual health is very important because we need all three to really have harmony in our life. But is it achievable? I think it is if done in small doses. At least that's how it works for me. So let's start off with emotional health. What exactly does that mean? Well, to me, it's the way we react to different circumstances and situations. Now, I have a long way to go in balancing all three of these components, but I know I've come a long way with my emotional balance. I used to overreact to many things. I was such a worrywart, and I would get all these thoughts and imagine things, like when my kids went out somewhere. Then I would imagine they would have a car wreck. Or what if the car broke down and some stranger stalked and kidnapped them? Or what if they did something foolish and got hurt? What if I get a call from the emergency room saying, your child is here in the emergency room? Oh my gosh, I drove myself crazy. I really did. And then even on little things, I would do the same thing. My emotions really kind of governed my life for quite a while because I didn't know how to process them. Thankfully, I've greatly improved in that area. I don't think the worst anymore. I don't think something tragic is going to happen. I pray for my child or grandchild or whoever it may be that they are surrounded by a legion of angels, that they have God's protection around them, and I have faith that they're going to come home safely. And if something were to happen, then I know I could handle it, and I could be rational about it. So that has brought me a lot of growth to be able to look at it that way. We can't control everything. We can't control what does or doesn't happen. And letting those intrusive, invasive thoughts enter our mind, we're only harming ourselves. Sometimes we can get our feelings hurt, and we let our emotions get involved, and oh my goodness, we end up creating this big story. It just kind of blows up. Someone hurt our feelings. We don't give them the benefit of the doubt. We don't look at the side that they didn't mean to, that wasn't their intention. We look at it through our emotions, like, well, why would they say something like that to me? And why would they treat me that way? And questions like that. Again, that's our emotions taking over our rational thinking. You know how they say don't sweat the small stuff? All this stuff is small, just small petty stuff that we blow up in our heads to become really big deals. So learning to deal with your emotions, give it time to really think it through instead of jumping the gun and coming to a conclusion, is going to be the best thing you can do for yourself. In addition to that, is it really worth letting our emotions take over to the point where it robs us of our joy? It robs us of our peace. I don't think it is. So I'm grateful that I have been able to get a handle on my emotions as I've grown and I've aged. But are they perfect? No way. When it comes to our spiritual health, that is the key to everything. That is the key to perfect peace. That's the key to bring things together. It's the key to help us improve on what we need to work on, whether it's our emotional health or physical health. Staying in prayer, asking God for advice, for help, for insight, for wisdom is just number one in my book. Without spiritual health, I don't think we can ever hope to have physical or emotional health. God does not expect us to be perfect. He knows that we will never be. We just want to try our best, take little steps. The good thing is, He will meet you where you're at, and God is so patient and so faithful and so loving. So that spiritual health is critical to everything else in your life. How do you increase your spiritual health? Well, you pray, you read your Bible, you do devotionals, you talk to God. You can get out in nature because then you see all of God's creations and it connects you more. There's many things that you can do, but most of all, it has to become a priority and the top priority to expect the other things to fall into line. And then there's our physical health. Well, I'm not good at that at all in some areas, and I'm great at it in others. I love to walk, I love to clean, I love to dance, I love to move. So as far as like exercising in those ways, I do that. I love yoga, I love stretching, I love balancing exercises. Those things are all easy for me because I enjoy it so much. They may not be easy for you, and that's okay. You'll find what works for you. But as far as eating a good diet, which they say is part of our physical health, I'm lousy at it. Those of you that have been with me, you know that. I'm a finicky eater, a picky eater, a poor eater. I love sweets. I live off my Tootsie Rolls throughout the day. Now, I've made some improvements. As you know, I've done some what I eat in a day videos. I think I've only done 2. And I have improved. I added protein to my lousy diet. And I may not get it the way you should get it, like through healthy fish and chicken and eggs and stuff like that. But I am getting protein. So that's an improvement for me. You also have to take into consideration that physical health is not always in our control. It's not always just about exercising more, eating right, drinking a lot of water during the day, which I do not. Sometimes we are hit with things that are out of our control and they affect our physical health. Different diseases, mobility issues, osteoporosis, arthritis, the many, many things that are going to come upon us as we age. We can't control that. We can only do the best with what we have. They say sleep is a big part of our health. Well, again, I'm not a good sleeper, but have I improved some? Yes, because I started taking magnesium, and that helps me. But I'm still not a great sleeper. There's no way I'm ever going to sleep 6, 7, 8 hours straight. It just isn't going to happen for me. I accept that. I'm okay with it. And again, I just keep trying to make little adjustments and improvements to help me in that area. I do believe to have balance in life, we need to incorporate all three. But that's to the best of our ability. Again, it does not have to be perfect. Don't beat yourself up if you're lacking in one area or all three areas. We can always improve. Take those baby steps. Do little things that get you just one step closer. I know you've seen people, probably here on YouTube, that focus on one thing and one thing only and say it's their, I'll just say, physical health. And oh my gosh, they go gung-ho into everything they eat. They weigh it, they measure it, they count it, they just think about it constantly. And then there are those that are that way with exercise. They knock themselves out to exercise every muscle in their body from head to toe. Well, those are great things, but what about the rest of your life? What about those other two parts? How can you have balance if all your focus is in one area and one area only? You can't. In fact, your life gets more out of balance because you become obsessed with the newest diet or the newest exercise or losing 5 more pounds and going at it with a gusto. That's not good either. We're talking about balance here. And nobody will ever have perfect balance, in my opinion. So what I'm trying to say to you is take each little segment and try to work on one thing at a time. If you just add one thing each day, you're going to notice a difference and you're going to get closer to that balance where you can have peace in your life. You know, if you're a poor eater like I am, whatever it may be, eat one less cookie a day if that's your problem, or eat one extra whatever if you need more protein. Just take one step in that area on a given day. At the same time, let's look at our emotional health. Try to talk to yourself and work through your emotions. Take a good look at yourself. Do some self-reflection and really think about where you're at with your emotions and what areas that you could improve on. It may be the tiniest little area, but if you can just do one, then you're on your way. And as far as spiritual health, and again, to me, that's the glue that holds it all together and brings you the balance. So your spiritual health, try to read a passage every day or just have a conversation with God. Just talk to Him, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Ask Him for help. Ask Him for guidance. Think about the fruit of the Spirit. Think about being kinder. Think about having more compassion. Think of a way you could make somebody's day, and that might just be by smiling at them or giving them a compliment. Things like that. It doesn't have to be all at once. It doesn't have to be these major, huge changes. Try to take those 3 segments of your life and add one little thing to them each day and see how you grow. See if you can feel balance coming into play in your life. I can't promise you you're going to feel perfectly balanced, but I can promise you you're well on your way, and you're going to feel a difference in your emotions, your physical, and your spiritual health. So I hope this helped you in some way. Again, I'm no expert, and I am far from perfect on these things, as I stated. But I'm not quitting. I never give up. I want that balance in my life because I want my life to have meaning. I want my life to be filled with joy. I want that peace in my life. So I'm working on it, and I will continue working on it. Do any of you feel like your life is out of balance, or you just can't seem to get it in balance? What do you do? Do you have a certain thing you do to achieve a more even balance in your life in these 3 areas of your emotional, spiritual, and physical health? If so, please leave it in the comment section below. We can all learn and help each other. I learned so much from you all. I am just so very grateful. Well, now I'm going to leave you with an inside beauty tip. My inside beauty tip today comes from Psalms 32:1. Happy is the person whose sins are forgiven, whose wrongs are pardoned. God does not expect us to be perfect. He knows we're going to make wrong choices. He knows we're going to sin. He knows that we're going to fall short of His glory. But on the same token, God is all loving and all forgiving and all compassionate. Don't beat yourself up. Don't be too hard on yourself. Go to Him. Pray about these things. Ask for guidance and help in whatever area you need to improve on to obtain that balance in life. Yes, we are going to fail, and sometimes over and over and over again. But the good news is we get a second chance, and a third and a fourth, and on up to hundreds and thousands of chances. Don't give up on yourself, because God will never give up on you. Just ask Him for help, and He will be there, and you will see these little improvements all of a sudden fall into place in your life. God wants us to have balance, and He wants us to have peace, and we can only achieve that through Him. I thank you so much for being here today. I truly do appreciate it. And until we meet again, this is the old girl signing out. See ya!